What if you went fishing one day and caught a cyclops? How would you react? What if you accidentally pulled a giant anaconda out of a river? Would you be intrigued or terrified? For a lot of fishermen, pulling a real-life monster out of the water is a thrilling once-in-a-lifetime experience. Like for this Taiwanese fisherman who caught the gigantic 23-foot-long Megamouth shark. But this toothy shark isn't even the strangest thing in the water, no! From one-eyed mutants to fish that weigh as much as a fully grown tiger, fishermen all over the world have pulled real-life nightmares up from the deep, making us all wonder what else could be down there. In 2011, a commercial fishing crew caught a female bull shark off the coast of Mexico. While catching a shark is a terrifying task at best, what the fishermen would find inside the shark was much worse. It turns out that the bull shark was pregnant, but inside of her there was more than just baby bull sharks. One of her pups was an albino, one-eyed cyclops that absolutely baffled the fishermen. Even scientists were thrown off by the strange discovery. There have been less than 50 recorded cases of cyclopia occurring in the wild. The condition, named after the cyclops and referring to the creature's strange single eye, was the result of the shark's forebrain failing to separate into two hemispheres. The consequence was one large, creepy eye that would have likely been fully functional, but scientists are sure the one-eyed shark wouldn't have survived long in the wild, so at least our chances of coming across a one-eyed shark next time we're at the beach are slim to none. As for the fishermen who found the specimen, they now call the unique shark pup their most prized possession. It was around 7 a.m. in Japan when fisherman Shigenori Goto noticed something unusual in his net. He'd been fishing for yellowfish, but what Goto got was instead a 350-pound, 13-foot-long giant squid. The squid was an incredible challenge to pull ashore with a weight equal to about 70 average-sized freshwater trout. This giant squid is one of the largest ever caught, but scientists have recorded sightings of giant squid up to twice its size. Scientists have long tried to find these lost creatures, but their deep-sea habitat has kept them hidden from prying eyes. Giant squid are the proud owners of the largest eyes in the animal kingdom. They're also carnivorous and have been known to eat other squid and even small whales. But we don't want to give this gentle giant a bad rap. They are thought to be timid with divers despite their size, but some of the giant squid's smaller cephalopod cousins aren't so friendly, like the Humboldt squid, which has a tendency to get aggressive with divers when feeding. In Mexico, their tendency to wrap around fishermen has earned them the nickname of Red Devil. The prehistoric Megalodon is thought to be one of the world's fiercest apex predators. It's definitely a shark that's not to be messed with. The Megalodon's maximum length was about 70 feet, and they could weigh up to 70 tons. Compare that to the largest shark alive today, the great white, and its 21-foot-long body seems kind of unimpressive. Thankfully for swimmers everywhere, the last of the Megalodons on Earth disappeared about 1.6 million years ago. Or did they? A New Zealand beach on the Bay of Plenty coast was the site of a weird discovery. The body of a huge sea creature washed up on shore. The creature had a huge head and a mouthful of jagged teeth. It's hypothesized that this could have been a saltwater crocodile or decomposing dolphin, but the body shape and size were strangely similar to a small megalodon. Scientists think that the strange creature could be a great white shark, the closest living relative to the megalodon, but this is not the only strange sighting of a megalodon-like creature. A 50-foot shark was found 1 mile down the Mariana Trench in 2016. It was thought to be a Pacific sleeper shark, but that particular species is known to only grow to 20 feet, so the mystery remains unsolved. Unlike the usual dark-colored creatures of the deep, our next entry is a real-life Magikarp. This unique deep-sea creature is called the swallowfish, and it's an incredibly rare catch for a fisherman. But there's not a whole lot to know about the swallowfish, so when these gems are pulled up from the deep, they can shock scientists by far exceeding their estimated size. The average length of a swallowfish is 37 centimeters, but these fishermen were lucky enough to catch a specimen twice as long. Swallowfish are usually found at depths of 88 to 183 meters throughout the western Indian Ocean, so successfully finding a swallowfish on your boat or in your net can be like finding a diamond in the rough. Despite its bright hue, the most interesting thing about the fish isn't even its color. A swallowfish begins its life as a female, but when it's time to mate, a few will transform into males to support their population. And the males are even more brightly colored than the females, making a magnificently colored swallowfish an even harder to catch commodity. So how about it? Would you like to replace your goldfish or betta with a neon swallowfish? Let us know in the comments. Sharks are already terrifying. Add in an even larger mouth and a bunch of extra pointy teeth, and we've got ourselves a living nightmare. So it's pretty unsettling to know that deep in the ocean there lives a shark fittingly known as the Megamouth. This creature was first discovered in 1976 when a U.S. Navy research vessel hauled up a 14.6-foot, 750-kilogram specimen off the coast of Hawaii. The monster's size dwarfs that of the average shark at a measly 6.5 feet. The Megamouth is known for, you guessed it, a very large mouth. This mouth is home to 50 rows of super sharp teeth on each jaw. Luckily, they prefer krill and plankton to humans and will dive up to 1,500 meters below the surface to hunt their prey. Fewer than 100 megamouths have ever been seen or caught, but fishermen have discovered even larger specimens than the 1976 behemoth. One megamouth caught off the coast of Taiwan measured 23 feet, and in 2017, diver Hiroyuki Arakawa discovered a 20-foot-long female off of Japan's eastern coast. In 2017 alone, 111 million pounds of lobster were hauled into Maine, America's lobster capital, but none of them looked like this. Daryl Dunham was the proud fisherman who found a rare two-toned lobster in one of his traps. The lobster's half-red and half-black color is the result of a genetic mutation caused by a cellular split during the egg fertilization process. The crustacean is an incredibly rare catch, with the odds of netting one being about 1 in 50 million. But what about 1 in 100 million odds? It's how rare it is to catch an albino lobster, but a fisherman in New Brunswick was able to get his hands on one of the unique creatures. The shiny lobster's all-white color is caused by leucism, which leaves the lobster with no pigment in its shell. This is different from other colored lobsters, like blue lobsters, who get their pigment from the combination of a protein and a red carotenoid molecule known as astaxanthin. This less rare but equally flashy lobster has a 1 in 2 million chance of being caught in the wild. Odds aside, which one would you rather catch? While equal in speed, sea snakes differ from land snakes because they can not only breathe underwater, but their venom is much more toxic, like the Belcher's sea snake, whose venom is 100 times stronger than a cobra's. But that doesn't mean that all sea snakes need to use venom to debilitate prey. Some water-dwelling snakes are so large that they can simply crush or drown their prey, and they're big enough to easily wrap themselves around a human being. We're talking about the anaconda, which can weigh 550 pounds and be up to 30 feet long. They eat fish, amphibians, and even mammals that are brave enough to wander near the water's edge, like curious capybaras. In the Santa Marina River in Brazil, a group of fishermen came across a giant yellow anaconda that had recently eaten. The result is a giant snake with a bloated body that looks kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. The fishermen were brave enough to grab this giant snake by its tail. But an animal looking dangerous doesn't excuse animal cruelty. The fishermen received a hefty fine and community service for messing with the digesting giant. A fisherman in Thailand was proud to have caught the largest catfish ever recorded. The 646-pound, 10-foot-long catfish was found in the Mekong River. For comparison, that's about the average weight of a tiger. A typical catfish is a lot smaller, growing 4 to 5 feet long on average. Most catfish have barb-like teeth that feel like sandpaper. Many fishermen catch them with their bare hands too, letting the creatures wrap their mouths around their arm and then pulling them out of the water. Ugh. While the Mekong catfish is toothless, it does require sturdier equipment. The fisherman who caught this giant had to use a weighted and flexible rod of at least 10 feet long, but he doesn't recommend that other fishermen try their hands at catching the giant either. The Mekong catfish is a gentle herbivore, and it's now considered an endangered species, proving that size isn't everything when it comes to surviving the deep. Both humans and animals have known to be born with startling mutations, but for a while it seems like humans were the only species who gave birth to Siamese twins. However, recently we have been proven very wrong. In 2017, a group of Dutch fishermen in the North Sea made a shocking discovery when they found a two-headed porpoise in their net. Only 9 other cases of symmetrically conjoined animals had ever been reported, and this was the first case ever for a porpoise. For dolphins in particular, twins are extremely rare, let alone Siamese twins. The phenomenon occurs when 2 separate embryos fuse together. This particular porpoise was a newborn, and scientists don't believe it would ever be able to survive in the wild. However, they were never able to properly study the specimen. Worried that they would get in trouble for keeping marine life, the fishermen threw the porpoise back into the water, but not before getting a few fascinating pictures to remember their once-in-a-lifetime catch. Slugs seem gross, but not scary, right? Well, tell that to New Zealand beach goers who had to give up their lounge time when a bunch of blue sea slugs washed up to the shores and forced a beach closure. The tiny blue sea slugs are officially known as Glaucus atlanticus. They are a striking blue color and float upside down on the surface of the water. But while some might call the 1.2-inch long blue slugs cute, they're actually pretty dangerous. The sea slugs are best known for their painful stings that have been compared to bee stings, except worse, and their food of choice is actually jellyfish. So when they wash ashore to feed, you can bet that they aren't the only shocking sea creatures waiting to sting passing swimmers. These sea slugs can be found in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans and have a fitting nickname, the blue dragon. The next time you spot something shiny and blue floating in the water, you might want to stay clear. So, which of these strange creatures do you find the most fascinating or the most terrifying? Let us know in the comments. If you want to discover more of nature's most diverse monsters, check out our video on the scariest creatures still alive today, or for more of the scariest creatures known to water, check out these top 10 river monsters. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content